Hey guys, welcome back to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 1987 Spanish comedy thriller, The Law of Desire, or La Ley del Deseo. This is a film by director Pedro Almodovar. Almodovar, I think, is one of the most thrilling directors to be working in the late 20th century, 21st century. Just madness incarnate in a director, and yet also just like a lover of perversion and frivolity, melodrama, telenovelas, a lot going on in his work. I've seen mostly his 21st century work, and so after watching Arrebato, I took a shine into maybe checking out some of his earlier work. This is his first movie treating gay life as a subject matter. If you watch Almodovar's films, he loves women. It's usually about the women in his movies, so I'm interested to see how he treats male desire, male sexuality as the principal subject of his films. So yeah, without further ado, let's watch The Law of Desire. And before we get started, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. Something I really appreciate. Oh, Eusebio Poncela is in this. Something I really appreciate about Almodovar's art direction is that it's always so overwhelming and kind of like inscrutable. Just this idea of these like folds of paper, of crumpled paper, with this like little spotlight flashing on them. What is that supposed to mean? It'll be something signified later in the film, but you're always displaced when you start an Almodovar film.
Siéntate y vete desnudando.
This is how a scene in Fox's Friend goes as well, isn't it?
No te quites todavía los calzoncillos. No me mires.
Don't look at me. Yeah. A particular type, let's say. Maybe a director. A stage director, actually.
Mírate en el espejo. Bésate en los labios.
The myth of Narcissus.
Refriégate el paquete contra el cristal.
How would you show that? Okay, I was wondering what angle they would take.
Quítatelo.
Wow, his abs. I love men's shoulders. Wow.
Entre las nalgas. Pero no habíamos quedado. Lo que quiero es que me lo pidas.
Are they being overdubbed? I was gonna say they're recording in a dubbing.
Fóllame.
Yeah, so there's Eusebio Poncela Brea. Yeah, part of why I wanted to watch Almodovar films of this time was obviously, as previously featured in this channel, I watched Arrebato, which was made by one of his collaborators, Ivan Zuleta, and Eusebio Poncela obviously starred in Arrebato. So it's good to see him here. Antonio, La Ley del Deseo. And he's a filmmaker in this one too. Ooh, those pants. Nice, Antonio. Yes. Fóllame. That beautiful presentation of lips. Almodovar would be so bold just to press the camera up against Antonio Banderas' lip. Opa. The human voice also comes up. As said previously, Almodovar is deeply inspired by Cocteau as an artist, as a gay man, and the human voice comes into it. And apparently, the human voice is also a point of inspiration for women on the verge of a nervous breakdown, which makes sense if you think about the title. But yeah, so like Almodovar is influenced by Cocteau in the way that like Ozon and more recently Bruce LaBruce have been influenced by Fassbinder or by Pier Paolo Pasolini. So while you sometimes it feels like these filmmakers are like bowled over by the magnitude of their predecessors, it's good that there's this kind of continuity, that there's this love and desire to continue on the traditions, the ecstasies, the innovations of these previous queer filmmakers. Wow.
Tú no tienes la culpa de no estar enamorado de mí. Y yo tampoco tengo la culpa de estar enamorado de ti.
Prométeme que vendrás a verme al chiringuito. Hay una playa preciosa con un faro que te cagas.
I love the art direction, like, once again, of Almodovar. His apartments, his houses always look so lived in by like by bohemians, by intellectuals, by artists. Oh, beautiful. He has this really great eye for these above the from these bird's eye setups. I think about the scene of the bed changing in Talk to Her, especially. It's so evocative seeing. I think I talked about this with Fassbinder too, that some directors just love seeing their subjects supine, like lying down or in bed. Fassbinder is certainly one, and I'd say that Almodovar is one too, that you kind of like gravitate towards the bed in his movies. Yeah, thinking about it in The Human Voice as well, the bed is kind of like a centerpiece of that film. Oh, another overhead shot, bird's eye shot, is the beautiful pan down in Julieta. Oh my god. Yeah, just some wonderful, this wonderful eye he has for the human body, laying prone.
Voy a escribirte a máquina la que yo quiero recibir. Si no te importa, encabézala y fírmala.
Es que no puedo concentrarme.
¿Y eso por qué?
Dice que está enamorada de ti.
No dejes Madrid para olvidarte. Cuéntame todo lo que haces. ¿Qué libro lees?
¿Qué libro?
Todo lo que
I love this overlapping of
has conocido a alguien que te...
pause. I love this overlapping of words again, kind of in keeping with this Narcissus theme, that he's overlapping Juan's voice with his own. He's writing as though he's imagining Juan reading it, and having their voices overlap. This kind of simultaneity of desire, of homosexual desire, that you are seeing your lover and you're seeing yourself reflected in your lover.
Aquí estudié yo de pequeña. ¿Entramos en la capilla?
Vale.
¿Cuántas pajas me habré hecho yo en estos muros?
Oh Virgen más pura que el nardo y la rosa, juga mi llanto de amargo dolor.
Pequeña era la solista del coro. Es lo único que echo de menos de esa época.
Me recuerda mucho a un antiguo alumno.
Padre Constantino. Soy yo.
She's trans!
No puede ser. Has cambiado tanto.
Almodovar is so far ahead on all of this shit.
En lo esencial sigo siendo...
So that's what she meant when she said the amount of time she's jerked off here.
Tina, tengo que empezar a ensayar la voz.
¿Y quién es la afortunada?
Me gustaría que lo hicieras.
Yes.
Seguro que no lo haces porque soy tu hermana.
Que no.
Oh, okay. That
Con
makes
mi
sense.
situación económica. Come, tesoro. Yo ya no voy a poder comer nunca más.
Os veo mañana.
Chao.
The first interaction, he's got a gun pulled. He's got a gun cocked. It's very, very powerful. It's just thrown away, but already you get that sense of danger to their relationship.
No solo acostarme con chicos.
Oh, interesting. Wow. 80s Antonio Banderas is something else. Oh, that was Eusebio. Okay.
Es que yo no lo he hecho nunca, ¿sabes?
He wants it too much. He's so young in this. It's really cool. Is that the same shop? Oh, okay, that's Almodovar, by the way. Is this the same shop that's going to be used in The Human Voice? I'll have to compare notes. I think his brother played the store clerk in The Human Voice, too.
Chico de la carta. Ese Juan. ¿La has leído? ¿Pero cómo te atreves?
Ese chico parece muy enamorado.
No underwear?
Pues no lo está. Esa carta es una broma.
They do it kind of different in Europe, I
Es
guess.
una broma. Espero que tú no le quieras.
Vamos a dejarlo.
Ne me quitte pas. Il faut.
This is The Human Voice. I'm guessing this is the conclusion. This is kind of the ending that he imagined for his own version, because in the Cocteau version, the woman has like a breakdown and she like kind of like submits at the end, and in Almodovar's version she kind of like triumphs and like burns her apartment down. She burns the memories down of this previous relationship and kind of rises from the flames. And this is also the song that that Pablo played with Juan on their last night. So if you wonder if that's something that he's capturing within this production, the feelings of having to separate from Juan. Yeah, I think there is an interesting interaction between Antonio's character and Ada, that they're kind of playing along the same lines with Pablo. And it's read in this innocent way, with Ada, obviously. But I wonder what that's saying about either Ada or Antonio.
¿Por qué no contestas a mis cartas?
Porque estoy tratando de olvidarte y cuando uno trata de olvidar no escribe.
Te quiero.
No te encuentro nunca. Sí, estoy aquí.
Oye, llevo días llamándote y no me contestas.
Es que paro poco por casa.
I like how they're facing the opposite ways as he and Juan.
No me gusta. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Estás dando marcha?
Antonio, ya te dije que...
Tengo que colgarte. Si no vienes, iré yo a verte.
So is Laura P also the name of the letters he's writing to Antonio? Also, why is he writing letters to Antonio?
No te quiero, mintiéndote. Yo nunca te he mentido. Laura P.
There's a strange truth of convenience. Oh God, Antonio. There's a strange truth of convenience in this where he finds it. I think this ties back into something that he said earlier about love and hate kind of being the same or similar feelings, where they consume your thoughts all day, and that's something that he hates. That he finds himself overwhelmed, as he describes, by his love for Juan, and it makes him unable to work, and that makes him unable to write, and it kind of prevents him from writing to Juan, from embracing this love, from explicating this love. And he has kind of like an opposite relationship with Antonio, where whether out of resentment or outright hatred, or just like middling feelings really in comparison to Juan, he finds it easier to communicate with him, and he finds it actually easier to write, both like in the physical sense, but also perhaps in the creative sense, that he's able to write based on his relationship of conflict, his relationship of ambivalence with Antonio, and that relationship of convenience actually may work for him better than his relationship of overwhelm and passion for Juan. It's not really a dynamic you see treated on film often, but I think it's a reality of relationships that often goes unexplored in the medium, which is so obsessed with presenting the most extreme, the most like orthodox or canonical of human emotions. The ones that we are prescribed to are the only ones that can be represented in their extreme, because anything else would feel like unrealistic or unsatisfactory. And it's only stories, in a way, are only a way of reinforcing more moralities, morals that the society already has. And so while I can find Almodovar's films frustrating at times, something that I really deeply appreciate about them is that they take morality as an obsession, as a genesis coming from the artist himself, as opposed to from social norms and social demands. Is he gonna kill Juan? Where is Juan? Did he go to the same place that Juan went? How does he know what Juan looks like? I guess maybe... Oh, he's wearing Pablo's shirt. No, don't do this! Antonio! Oh, no, 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 no! What did he have gripped in his hand? Was that a piece of the shirt? So Pablo's going to be implicated in the murder of Juan. That's interesting. I don't know where that's going to lead. And again, the close-ups on the lips, beautiful. Yeah, but you're going to see that his shirt isn't ripped.
¿Se refiere al
Right?
junto al faro de Trafalgar?
But they could see his shirt isn't ripped, right? But his shirt, it doesn't matter. You know, sometimes I'm like, early era Almodovar, you can forgive some of these slip-ups. Ooh.
Quiero ver qué haces. ¿Quién es usted?
Me llamo Pablo. Soy amigo de Laura, una amiga de Antonio. No volverá a molestarnos.
This is also a funny little, I don't know how intentional it is, but this is a funny mirroring of the earlier scene between Antonio and Juan, that Antonio arrived as a substitute for Pablo, even though he really wasn't, in order to say something to Juan that he was actually feeling. And in this case, Pablo is entering into Antonio's domicile under the guise of being a friend of Laura's, who doesn't actually exist, in order to speak to Antonio.
Esta muerte nos unirá para siempre.
I guess that's a kind of a relationship.
¡Hostia! ¿Es amigo tuyo? ¿Qué va? Me lo presentó esta chica, Laura. Él pensaba que estaba aquí. Pero no entiendo nada. ¿Qué pasa?
Who's going to be implicated as Laura here? Is it going to be Tina?
Ay, Dios mío.
I love the close-ups in this. They're so intense. Usually, like, close-ups are a little bit more staid, but these are just, like, completely naked, completely abrasive with how extreme, how close-up they are. It's a weird detail. This is some, like, a little bit of the early shoddiness of Almodovar's writing, to have it introduced in the previous scene. The policeman saying that Pablo is a bad driver. Has that been established otherwise? Will Tina be implicated as Laura and be able to prove that she isn't by saying that she's trans?
¿Por qué no nos sonríes?
Laura P.
Que te sonría tu puta madre.
¡Cállate!
Y la gente como tú, capaz de pegar a una mujer indefensa, ¿qué es lo que merece?
Tú no eres una mujer.
So they do know that she's trans. Also something that'll be used again in Talk to Her. Oh, never mind. I was under the impression that he would be in a coma.
No recuerda nada.
No recuerda nada. Doctor, se ha despertado, pero no recuerda nada.
Voy a verlo.
Te acompañamos, seguro que está fingiendo.
No puede acompañar.
But we're seeing some some influences of telenovelas, of soap operas in the plot now. Mistaken identity, murder, false accusations, memory loss,
Déjanos solos.
amnesia.
Ha vuelto, sí.
¿Ya?
Pero
¿Pero qué?
todavía no ha recuperado la memoria. ¿Y tú quién eres?
Soy tu hermana, Tina Quintero. Pablo. Hay cosas de las que nunca hemos hablado. Yo tuve la culpa de que nuestro... Estaba ligada con papá.
Incest. I should have known. That there would be some incest involved. I was thinking about that with earlier in the scene. Ada said that she'd be happy if Pablo was her father, after discussing how she's like attracted to him and stuff. And I was debating whether or not I would bring it up there, but it's just a slight pushing of the boundaries in the case of Almodovar, that he likes exploring incest in his work. He likes exploring rape in his work, in like tandem with his films being about sexuality and queerness and stuff. That he likes to explore taboos in his films, that in a way his queerness has given him license to do that. And not to say that obviously incest and homosexuality are the same thing, but from his vantage point, from the time that he was growing up and coming into maturation in society, both were dealt with in the same terms of stigmatization in society. And so while they're not exactly the same things, transness or homosexuality or incest or I don't know, age gap, I'm sure is something that could be brought up as well. Almodovar is like a very curious and a very ruthless filmmaker, tries to push the boundaries with as many taboos in his films as possible to see if which societal norms and which societal taboos are able to like bend, or which ones break under pressure. And this is also in tying with the soap opera inspiration for his work as well, that it has as many like as many extremes as possible kind of incorporated into it. And so I'm interested to see if this subject of taboo, if the subject of incest is treated as like horrifically, or as like, in as much as Almodovar is capable of being as queer filmmaker and as individual filmmaker as he is, if it'll be treated with as much compassion as he's capable of.
Vivimos allí unos años y fuimos muy felices. Hasta que me dejó por otra mujer. Al principio yo era chico. Al poco tiempo de llegar a Marruecos con papá, me cambié de sexo.
For him? That is like putting a horrendous root to the transness of Tina. But yeah, I guess if you're going to explore taboos, you're going to explore them the whole way through. I really love this as a revelation of Tina's character, because I thought she was going to use this as an excuse to hide everything about her past, but she wants her relationship with Pablo to be based in honesty. She wants him to fully know who she is, and so she immediately lifts the veil as soon as he's conscious again. She immediately reveals the darkest aspects of her past and her identity to him, her transness, the reasons for her transness, the incest, and she's forthright about it, and she's not ashamed of it, and he, truly loving her, accepts that. It's a really, really, really not how I was expecting this twist to be utilized, but it's a really beautiful expression of kind of like a narrative of queer acceptance and queer identity, that in some ways these characters are viewed as like monsters in society, and I don't know, the ones who understand just accept them. And she's still religious, she still prays, she still has faith. If anything, she's the most religious of any of the characters presented in this film.
De todos modos, al chico le tenemos... Últimamente se le ve mucho con...
His sister?
¿Qué dice? Que está siendo un gran consuelo para tu hermana.
Oh no! Antonio's been dating Tina?
Continuad vosotros.
Di solo sí o no y no me nombres. ¿Estás sola?
No, pero ¿qué pasa?
¿Está Antonio Benítez con vosotras? Él asesinó a Juan. No es mal chico, pero está completamente loco.
No puede ser.
It's not possible. It's so soap opera-y. Tears everywhere in this movie. All these tears shed. Oh, she's got a crazy hook. She keeps getting slapped. So many people are slapping her in this movie.
Que suba Pablo. Solo hablaré con él.
Desire.
Escuchadme bien. Quiero una hora para negociar con Pablo.
I love this attitude that Tina's taking, that whatever like path she has in life, she seems to find herself embroiled in like the psychodramas of other people, especially of her brother, that despite herself she finds that she's only a side character in his drama, which is true. It's really I'm having this is such a weird place. Maybe it's because I like Almodovar, but I find myself thrilled, at times extremely frustrated with this movie, but thrilled with the presentation of queer characters committing crimes, doing evil shit, really existing in their own queerness, in their own like outsider status in society. And when you're in those outskirts, like really living with, taking pride in, and accepting the like not only the brighter aspects of your personality, but the darker ones as well. Like, this movie is so truly out. Loving you this way is a crime. You're willing to kidnap, you're willing to kill, just to see him again. And see him again, and it's not in a cinematic sense. It's not to embrace your love again. It is to fuck him again. We can't even be sure that that Antonio is queer, that he's gay. There's like one line of contradiction to that, but his obsession with Pablo is so deep. It overrides every sensibility he has, not only his moral code, not only his sense of right and wrong, but also his own sexuality. It is completely warped by desire. It's transformational to the degree of like a Cronenberg film. And he's finally able to kiss like a lover, like a man.
Hace frío, no te destapes. Voy por la muleta y ahora te ayudo a vestirte, ¿eh?
Antonio.
And that covering up of Pablo with the sheet will be used again. Will be used again and talk to her. Oh, little Sebastian over here, little Saint Sebastian. Instead of being covered with arrows, he's covered in bullets. I love this dying at the altar of the Virgin Mary. I don't even know if any of it makes sense, but it is what this like extreme, unabiding, insane representation of love is. Love that is ruined by letters, love that is ruined by police and outside forces, love that is ruined by itself, a love that can't exist in this world, a love of mania, something that would be perverse to be called love, not only because it's homosexual, but because it is unabidable. And everybody just climbing up, just trying to get to them, trying to reach this level of passion, this level of desire. And you know what? It's impossible. You cannot exist on this level, this plane of love. Love that is so great. It surpasses religion. It surpasses society. It like I feel uncomfortable calling it love because it's so outside the bounds of conventional wisdom of what love is. But a person who believes so deeply the way that Antonio does, I like can't like deny his truth in this matter. He has more conviction than I do in these matters. So who am I to deny what he calls this thing? Ooh, I actually really loved how that resolved itself. Wow. Yeah, like, I can't believe this is his first, like, gay as a subject matter film, but the intensity of depiction of desire, of passion, it's like, it's is so extreme, is so outside of the bounds of society, a conflagratory event, an all-consuming passion. I think there's a particular slant that Almodovar is able to take in representing what love feels like, as like as a queer person, as an outsider, that it is so hard to find a partner, and when you do, society already deems what you are as disgusting. Like, there's so many things against your love being possible, your love being acceptable, that when you discover it, you just have to like manifest it in the largest way possible to try and outstrip all of these things, trying to tear it down. It is the most fringe representation of love, of attraction, of intensity of desire. I actually still don't know where the like writing comes into it. I have my personal feelings about it that Almodovar, being in an artistic community, finds how his attempts to like digest and replicate his life and other people's lives in artistic forms, and seeing other artists probably do the same, has like destroyed or warped many of his relationships, or seen many relationships warped by these dual simultaneous passions: the passion for the human body and the passion for creative artistic expression, and the two kind of like running parallel to each other but never quite melding with each other, that it's almost impossible to lead this artist's life while also being entirely committed to another human being. But I don't think that this movie, in the strictest of terms, is talking about obsession and the creative output. I think Pablo's position as a writer, as a director, is kind of secondary in this, and it's more about Antonio's obsession with him as an artist, as a love object, as a fetish object, as he describes the Vespertino earlier in the movie. There's like all this like all these like symbols kind of like mashing in and creating like a nebulous relationship with each other. The art, the religion, certainly queer identity and stuff. It's Almodovar. It's sometimes really hard to parse because it's just so many things being thrown at you simultaneously. Yeah, that was The Law of Desire. I'm gonna think about this a little bit more because it's just like, it's a thrilling experience watching an Almodovar movie the first time through, but it's just like completely disorienting as well. Like, what are you supposed to say after you watch Talk to Her? What meaningful insights can you give about how the movie interacts with society and interacts with your soul? I don't know. More people should watch Talk to Her. I don't know if they'd like come out of it thinking it's like a good experience, but that's like that's what Almodovar is. That's what I find so thrilling about his movies. It's like not meant to give you a good experience, and not like a bad experience in the sense that like Taxi Driver is a bad experience, or There Will Be Blood is a bad experience. Not like a bad experience in the living of a kind of like a dark fantasy. Maybe in some ways a dark fantasy, but not a dark power fantasy, a dark fever fantasy, a fever fantasy of knowing how much the world is out of your control. Yeah, I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled when I watch Almodovar. I'm gonna think about this a little bit more, and I'll try and I'll see where my thoughts lead me. Let me know what you think of The Law of Desire. Let me know if you have some favorite Almodovar films. You could tell me your favorite Almodovar film is The Skin I Live In. I'll get it. There are more Almodovar movies you could watch, certainly, in my opinion. Talk to Her is my favorite in the absolute entire world. It's like just hard to contend with such an absolute piece of mastery as Talk to Her. But I personally really like Julieta. I'm just talking in circles now. I'm going to go. That was The Law of Desire. Let me know what Almodovars you like. In the meantime, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. And until next time, keep watching good movies.